Hey everyone, this is Riddle Hacker AJ Raven. I'm here with my recap review of Animal Kingdom Season number 5, Episode number 10, which is titled Relentless. I could be wrong about the episode title, but I think it's called Relentless. Anyway, the episode opens up with Darren. He's still nursing. What happened here? Okay, I pressed a button. Anyway, my bad. So, yeah, the episode opens up with Darren. He's nursing that injury that he had during that bar fight with Greg and the son of a beach people. So he's nursing his injury, and Joshua walks in, and Joshua's like, "Are you okay? What's up?" And Darren's like, "Yeah." And this is where Darren's like, "Joshua, do you know what a hawala is?" And of course, Joshua says no. And this is where Darren explains to Joshua about what a hawala is. Now, from my understanding, it's basically like an illegal Western Union type of thing, money transfer thing, where a person, if that person is in another country and they need money, so you send money from your country, and there's a contact in the other country that ends up giving the money to the person you wanted to send the money to if they show a code, which is basically what Jess was doing in order to send money to Adrian all the way to Indonesia. And Darren is like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and we're going to steal from the hawala that Jess was using. And Joshua was like, you know what? That sounds like a good plan. Do you want me to do anything? And Aaron's like, no. And before he can talk more about the new job with Joshua, he ends up getting a message, and he's like, you know what? I have to go and take care of something in the bar. And Joshua's like, is there something you want me to do? And Darren is like, why don't you go and check the security at the hawala place that we are planning to hit? So we get a flashback, and Janine, Jake, and Manny end up stealing these VCRs from a truck. It was a good little plan where they ended up making the driver think that the truck was on fire, so the driver stopped, and they ended up stealing a whole lot of VCRs. They didn't get every VCR. I think they got like what, 10 VCRs or something. The amount of VCRs they could fit in their car, so they didn't still steal all of them, all of the units. So yeah, Janine is like, Jake, are you going to help me? And Jake is like, no, I can't. I have to go and meet up with Cheryl. And Manny is like, dude, Cheryl kicked you out. And Jake is like, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. And Janine is like, you know what? It's okay, Manny. Let him go. You can help. You can help me sell the VCRs. And yeah, Jake's marriage with Cheryl, it's not going well. So we cut to Greg, and apparently, like, this came as a surprise to me because I was like, wait, from the previous episode, I remember that Darren didn't want Greg to move into his house, and now that Ren is gone with the baby, why the heck is Greg in Darren's house? And it turns out that no, he's not exactly inside Darren's house, he's just using the porch. And yeah, Greg has his very, very young friends over, and I'm like, Greg, why the heck are you hanging around with these literal kids? Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, they're having fun, they're relaxing, and they're like, why doesn't your brother live here? And Craig is like, it's because of a broken heart. And then we also get to see Greg share a bit about what happened with Ren and Nick with the boys. And yeah, the kids don't necessarily like the predicament that Greg is in, because I think a few of them also have stepfathers, and it's not something ideal for them. And Greg is like, you know what? If you guys want to stay here, I want you all to stop asking questions about my personal life. So we cut to Andrew, and Andrew wants to get rid of the truck that he was using. And yeah, he used this truck to drive around and help Cassandra kidnap her baby and all of that stuff. And Andrew's like, yeah, this truck has to go. And Joshua's like, do you want me to help you with that? And Andrew's like, nah, I got this. And yeah, moving on, we get a flashback again, and Manny ends up selling these VCR units for like $375, I guess. And he also ended up giving these men, the buyers, an adult film for some reason, which, yeah, okay. And Janine ends up giving the VCRs to the guys along with their adult films. I think Janine actually likes adult films that have some kind of story. And this is where Manny is also like, Janine, are you going to take Jake's cut? Are you going to give the cut to Cheryl? And Janine is like, you know what? That's not an issue. Jake will come sniffing around soon enough. So moving forward, we see Darren enter the bar, and apparently the board is confiscating all of the liquor from the bar, and they're taking it all away. And they're also stopping Darren from operating the bar until further notice. He has a hearing date, and Darren is like, "Okay, why am I in so much trouble? I didn't do anything." But yeah, as far as Darren is concerned, he thinks that the people over at Son of a Beach they did that, but we know that no, that was wrong. We know who it was. So Joshua ends up talking to the hawala, and it turns out that it's not necessarily a very big operation. The hawala basically sends a bit of money to women in India from their sons from abroad, and he also sends a bit of money somewhere. I don't necessarily remember what he said, maybe to Mexico. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's not a very big operation. And Joshua's like, you know what? This person can only like what send $1,000 at a time, and it's not worth it. It's not worth all of the trouble to steal from such a place. So Craig, in order to find Ren, he ends up going to Ren's mother's house. Candace opens the door, and Craig is like, where the heck is she? And Candace is like, she's not here. And Craig doesn't believe her, but yeah, Candace is like, she's not here. I did get a call from her though, and she was like, you know what, I'm going somewhere. Ren didn't tell her where she was going, but she wanted to go somewhere to collect her thoughts, and that's why. And she also has Nick with her. And Greg is like, I'm the father. It's my right to know where my son is. And Candace is like, you know what? That's exactly why I wanted to take care of Nick. If you guys remember, I think it was in season 4, Ren's mother wanted to take custody of the baby, but Ren was like, no. But yeah, Candace wanted to give the baby a stable home, and now she's like, you know what? It's a good thing that Ren isn't with you. Maybe she'll clear her mind, and come back to a stable home. And Craig doesn't like that, and he ends up acting up. He's also high already, so he goes he gets up on his motorbike, and there's this weird chase scene with the police, which we'll get to in a bit. Which I was like, you know what? It's kind of fun, but in my opinion, it kind of dragged on for too long. So Andrew, in order to sell the truck, he goes to one of the mechanics, and the mechanic is like, you know what, Andrew, I want to help you, but I can't. And Andrew is like, why? And this is where the mechanic tells Andrew that word is being spread by Pete that stay away from the Cody men because they have heat on them from the DEA. And Andrew is like, you know what, fine, don't take the truck. I'll go and talk to Pete. Yeah, about the chase sequence again, as I said, it was fun when it started, but then I think it dragged on for a bit too long. So Janine ended up going to meet with Max, and she's like, Max, here's your cut for the jobs I pulled. And Max is like, wait. What about the job with the VCRs? And Janine is like, what are you talking about? That job doesn't fall under your jurisdiction. It's outside your turf. And Max is like, you can't play me like that. You live in Oceanside. You have to pay the tax. So I want my cut from that job. And yeah, Janine is understandably annoyed. And I'm like, you know what, Max? The way that you're going after Janine, especially with what he did with the kids later on in the episode, I'm like, Max, you're making things very, very difficult for yourself. So Janine ends up meeting Billy, and Billy is like, you know what, this isn't the way for you to handle Max. And yeah, it's been a while since these two met. And Billy is like, you want to hook up? And Janine is like, you know what, I need you to come home with me because I have a job for you. So Darren goes to talk to the board office, and the woman there is like, you know what, Darren, you have to relax, chill. I'll go through my data and see why you have been suspended. And then ended up talking about how the people over at Son of a Beach did this, and how it's people like them that move here from LA, and they change everything, and the rent raises and all of that stuff. And the woman is like, you know what? It's not the people from Son of a Beach. It's actually the DEA. The DEA is after you, and that's why they're the ones who ended up ordering your suspension. And that gets Darren by surprise. I was actually expecting the Son of a Beach people to be involved as well, but yeah, it's living good. So Darren, of course, he reaches out to Chadwick, and he's like, Chadwick, what the heck are we paying you for? Aren't you supposed to warn us for such stuff? And Chadwick's like, you know what? The order for the suspension, that didn't go through us. Living Good went directly to the board. He's really after you guys. And Darren is like, I want you to figure this out. I want you to do something about Living Good. And Chadwick is like, you know what? I'll figure something out. I figured something out, and figured it out. He did at the end of the episode. So Andrew goes to Pete's workshop, and he ends up meeting, I think it's Mia's sister or cousin. I can't remember her name. And Andrew is like, okay, I need you to tell Pete to keep his mouth shut, because if Pete is going to hurt my family business, I'm going to hurt his business. And the woman is like, if you say so. And then we see Billy. He's trying to hook up the VCR with the TV. It's not necessarily working. And and Billy is like, you know what, kids? Why don't you run off to the vending machine and get yourself some snacks? And of course, Billy takes out his wallet. There's not $1 in there, and Janine is the one who has to pay. And yeah, Billy has a drug problem, and you just know that he isn't very careful with his money. So while the kids are away, Janine and Billy end up hooking up. So we are back at the Cody house, and Darren is sitting there, and this is where Darren tells Andrew and Joshua about Craig's situation with Ren. And Darren is like, you know what, it's not a good thing to rip a kid away from his father. And Andrew is like, you know what, we don't necessarily know what actually happened, because as far as Andrew is concerned, a kid needs a loving mother, and I guess Darren feels he misses his father, and that's why he was like, I hope Nick gets a father. Anyway, it was a very weirdly emotional conversation, and I'm like, Darren, I guess if Adrian comes back, you should look into adopting kids. But yeah, this is also where Craig comes in, and Craig is clearly unraveling. He's close to tears, and yeah, and Joshua tells Craig about the hawala job that they want to pull, and how they can't necessarily do a whole lot of jobs because of the DA heat that's on them. And Craig doesn't appreciate Darren telling Andrew and Joshua about the rent situation. But yeah, Joshua is like, you know what, I have a job for you all, so I need the hawala situation. Focus on that, but we need to go bigger. And this is where he says to Craig that Frankie would know people who actually act as hawalas, but for very, very big things, when they want to buy a painting, when they want to buy a car while they're in another country. And Craig is like, wait, you want me to go and ask Ren for a new contact so that we can rip one of her contacts again? And Joshua is like, yep, that's exactly what I want you to do. And this is also where Greg tells Darren that he hasn't been sleeping for a few days now, and that he's been spending time over at Darren's. And Darren's like, wait, you don't have a key to my house. How the heck are you even there? And Craig is like, yeah, I broke one of the windows. And Darren doesn't appreciate Craig being at his house again. Darren, that house has a whole lot of memories for Darren related to Adrian, and I think deep down Darren hopes that Adrian will come back one day. Who knows? I have no idea if Adrian will come back. But yeah, these two end up having an argument, and Craig is like, so my Ren just took my child away, and you're here moping about me staying at your house. And Darren understands he tries to understand where Craig is coming from, and he kind of backs off. So, because no one will take Andrew's truck, Andrew decides to take things into his own hands, and he starts ripping the truck apart one by one, because apparently it's a recycling day tomorrow, and the scrappers will be out. And and Andrew is like, you know what, might as well give these scraps to the scrapper. So Craig does go and meet with Frankie. He's all drunk, he's all high, and Frankie has moved, and she's basically downsizing. Apparently, yeah, it's very, very clear that Frankie is running away and hiding from someone. I guess it's the same guy she mentioned a couple of episodes back, that I guess that guy wants to meet her, and she's trying to keep herself hidden or something. Craig is like, you know what, I'm here, I want to hook up with you. But Frankie is like, you aren't in your senses right now, you're tired, you haven't slept, and you also smell, so you need to rest. So she lays him down on the bed. And this is where Greg tells Frankie about having a son, and that Ren doesn't want to be with him and all of that stuff. And of course, hearing about Greg having a son, that surprises Frankie. But Frankie's like, you know what, it's time for you to go to sleep. And I also have to talk about the editing in this episode, because while these two were having a conversation, it was clearly, I think, like the takes weren't the same, because when the camera was focusing on Greg, you can see how Greg is holding on to Frankie's hand down there. But when the camera was focusing on Frankie, you can see that the hand placement is all wrong. But anyway, Frankie's like, you know what, go to sleep, dream about Nick. So while Andrew and Julia are out buying snacks from the vending machine, Max decides to show up, and Max is like, "Oh, you kids are hungry? Here, have some money. It's my treat." And yeah, Julia and Andrew are like, "No, our mom already gave us money." And Max is like, "Oh, that's interesting because I thought that your mom didn't have any money because she actually owes me money." And this is where Max basically threatens Julia and Andrew. And I'm like, uh-oh. Max just signed his death warrant. Like, Janine isn't going to take this sitting down. She is going to retaliate. And I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up killing Max. But let's see what happens. So Andrew and Joshua are like putting the scraps of the truck onto the scrapper man's truck. If I think you call him a scrapper man, I'm not really sure. And as these two are talking, Andrew is like, you know what? You just want to live your life, but there are a whole lot of obstacles that come in your way. And Joshua is like, if we have an obstacle, there are two options. Either you go around the obstacle and risk hurting yourself, or you drive right through the obstacle. There will be blood, but at least you'll still be going in the direction that you want, and you'll be safe. And this scene in particular, it kind of showed again Joshua's little murderous brain acting up, and he tells Andrew that, you know what, when we encounter an animal on the road, we run over that said animal. And I'm like, is this some sort of foreshadowing for what's to come in the upcoming episodes? Because we only have 3 more episodes left, right? So let's see what happens. So Craig and Frankie end up talking, and Craig is like, do you know what a hawala is? And Frankie is like, yup. And Craig is like, I need a contact. We are thinking of ripping off from a hawala. And Frankie is like, I understand what you guys are trying to do, but it's very dangerous. So Darren decides to go home, and Darren watches the kids on the porch, and he's like, kids, go home. And the kids are like, Craig said that it's okay. And Darren's like, yeah. Craig isn't the owner of this house, so just go. And the kids are like, can you guys, drop us home? And Darren is like, no, just go to school or something. It was a very fun interaction. So Darren is inside the house, and yeah, he's being all sulky. Again, I guess he's remembering all of the things that he wanted to do in this house with Darren, starting a new life, and all of that stuff. So while he's contemplating, he gets a call, and it's Officer Chadwick, and Officer Chadwick is like, hey, I talked to one of my people. I think I know how to handle the living goods situation with your bar, so I need to meet all of you, Cody men, in 2 hours. And Darren is like, why do you want to meet all of us? And Chadwick is like, because I want to make sure that all of you are on the same page, because you might end up talking to me about something else, and then your nephew comes in and he wants something else. So yeah, all of you at the same location, which is basically Darren's bar, in 2 hours. And done. This is where we end up seeing that Chadwick is possibly working with Living Good. And Chadwick is like, yeah, I've been working these brothers for a very long time. So in 2 hours, we're going to meet them. And Living Good is like, yep, I'm coming with you. But we all know what happened to Living Good in the end of this episode. So the kids return, and Janine is, of course, isn't happy about what Max did with the kids. And Janine is like, Max will have to pay. And yeah, Julia was like, Max threatened us that we might end up having to go live with him if you don't pay up. And Andrew is very, very angry about what Max did, and he's basically bashing the wall of the house. And Janine is like, stop, Andrew. You realize that you have this burning ball of fire inside your gut. I have the same thing, and I promise you that Max won't be a problem anymore. And I'm like, yep, she's going to go ahead and kill Max. So all of the Cody men are in the bar, and they're talking about the hawala, and Greg is like, yeah, I talked to Frankie, we can do this. And Joshua is actually very surprised that Greg actually remembered the conversation that they had, and Greg is like, yeah, you thought wrong. So Living Good decides to come into the bar, and he's very, very smug, and he's like, yeah, I got you all cornered. My case ended up costing 2.6 million. Adrian was our biggest witness, and I want him back, so give him back to me. And Joshua is like, you have nothing on us, because if you had, we would already be under arrest or something. And yeah, Living Good is like, do you think that closing the bar that I'm going to stop at closing the bar? No. I'm going to continue coming at you guys. Again, he's going to be relentless about it, which relates to the title of this episode. And he's like, I'm going to shut down the bar. I'm going to shut down your bowling alley. I'm going to make your life hell. So I'm giving you all a chance. Give me Adrian. And this is where Chadwick ends up deciding to shoot Living Good right in the head. So yeah, Living Good is dead. I was not expecting that at all, that Chadwick would be the one to get rid of the Living Good situation. I actually thought that Pamela was going to play a role in it, and I'm like, talking about Pamela, where the heck is she? She was hyped up by the promo team. We also got to see her a lot in the flashbacks, but as far as the main narrative is concerned, she hasn't necessarily played a very huge role in the present timeline. And with only 3 episodes left, I really hope to see Pamela again. But yeah, Living Good is dead, and Chad was like, "Yeah, he never stopped talking. So yeah, I killed him for you guys, and he would continue coming after you. But this kind of service means that I want a higher rate. I think he asks for $5,000 for killing Chadwick, for killing Living Good, and he also wants $2,000 per month. And Chadwick is like, yeah, the gun is a burner, but I'll still hold on to it. And Living Good's car is outside. He had the keys in his pocket, so why don't you guys handle the body situation in the car? And of course, what Chadwick did, it surprises the Cody men. Like, this is something that they don't do. They don't go about nilly-willy killing feds and policemen. And yeah, the fact that Chadwick ended up doing this, he proved his worth to the Cody men, but at what cost? They are going to be very, very cautious about him from now on. He basically has them in a trap. They can't stop. They can't stop working with him now, right? Unless going back to what Andrew and Joshua were talking about, unless they decide to kill Chadwick or maybe frame him for something. Let's see what happens. But yeah, this is where the episode ends. I will be doing a written review of this for the Geeky Eddie. The link to the review will be down in the comment section below as soon as it goes up. It was a good episode. Kind of fillerish, but still good. And now that Living Good is dead, I guess Adrian can come back in the finale. I have no idea, but let's see what happens. And as far as the hawala situation is concerned, they got the information from Frankie, but then again, Frankie was like, this is a very, very difficult job for you guys. So yeah, with only 3 more episodes left, let's see how difficult it ends up getting. And again, Pamela. I really want to see more of Pamela. Let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.